another week of talking golf. It's always a treat. It's worth a couple of chuckles. Try to identify some long shot prices for you. Let's have some fun. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. North of the border, he's our dear pal, Cam Stewart, the one and only, the raging redhead. It's Brendan Todd's world, Cam, and we're just living in it.
And that's the thing, man. We talk about this stuff in golf. When guys get on heaters, they can make it last. Brian, we talked about Brendan Todd the last show. I only put a toonie on him. Got $2 in my account. Stupid Canadian putting a toonie on this guy. You win a little bit of a cake, but watch out. This Brendan Todd guy, this is what happens. Some of these guys that have been bad before, and once they find form and get that first win, it's like a light switches off and they're in contention all the time. Brendan Todd used to be a good golfer years ago. He kind of lost his game. Now he's got it back. And I know it's the silly season, and this is a time to rake up money. We talked about our boy Lanto Griffin. You know, he's got to win, Brendan Todd, but back-to-back weeks? Hey, man, that's impressive. And he's 50-1 this week. You might want to put a sprinkle on him again. Can he do the three-peat? I probably doubt it. But, man, this guy's in great form. He's 50-1. You almost have to finally bet him.
I don't even know when the last time that happened is. Somebody went 3 in a row.
Probably Tiger Woods, if anyone.
Probably, yeah, probably. No, why not? I mean, he's throwing darts, and his story's remarkable to the point where on Golf Channel right after the tournament this morning, because they finished on Monday morning.
Yeah.
They were talking about, and we, by the way, in the podcast were saying, Koepka's form, he came through Vegas. I think he lost a boatload of dough at the table. Seriously. No joke. I'm serious. I'm serious.
I feel bad for Brooks Koepka. Guy can lose like $3 million and still.
How'd you know the number?
Oh, I just guessed. I did not even know. I was thinking
whether it's true or it's not. That's what I was told.
Oh, Vegas, Brooks, come back, buddy, come back.
Yeah. I mean,
$2 million.
He couldn't wait to get out of here, but his current form is not good to the point where there's actual doubt about him playing on the President's Cup. Whether he's off form or he's nicked up or whatever, but they were having this big discussion that it is one of the problems with the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup and things of this nature is you announce your team, hey, these guys are in the thing, and then you get the captain's picks 5 weeks before the thing, and then the guy's form goes to hell in a handbasket. Actually, it makes sense to me that both Ryder Cup captains or President's Cup captains, there would be a last-minute pick to pick a guy in good form.
Yes.
But they were talking about if Koepka can't go, would it be the craziest thing in the world to call Brendan Todd because he's throwing darts?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I don't care. Like, Koepka's got more money than he'll do for like 3 or 4 lifetimes. But even a guy with money losing $3 million, that's a nice chunk of change there. This guy's probably in orbit right now, Brian.
I don't know that it's true. I was told that.
Okay, if it's true, first of all, his game's not good. I could tell you one thing: when I'm losing money, even if it's $500, $1,000, I'm in orbit because it sucks. And this guy's losing $3 million. If it's true, and his golf game is also bad too. So yes, he's a guy that I'd stay away from. And Brendan Todd, it's just one of these. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, this guy's in a battle, he wins again. Like, that's the thing. He's mentally tough, too, when he's closing out these tournaments. He's really getting it done. He's not gagging. He's confident. He can have a lead, hold on to a lead, and that's really hard to do. As we've seen guys with 4 or 5 shot leads piss it away down the stretch. This guy's hanging on by a thread, 1 shot lead, and he gets it done again. So at 50-1, I got to tell you, Brian, oh, my God, 50. Like, I would have put Todd where Scotty Scheffler or Harris English are, 28 or 30. You want to give him 50-1? I'm going to put $20 on it. Try to win a dime. Why not? Go for the three-peat.
Well, Webb Simpson's the 8-1 favorite. And these are the things, Cammy, you and I have been doing this stuff a long time. And we know where these guys live. The cat was always out of the bag. Webb Simpson playing on his home courses down in the Carolinas.
Yep.
The one guy, I think the one year, and I think he moved to Arizona, was Martin Laird. Would always show up. But these guys playing on their home course. So this is the RSM Classic. Webb Simpson's the 8-1 favorite. Sea Island, Georgia. I'll just throw it out there. The guys that live there. And this is a big thing. The guys that are local residents are playing in this tournament because the majority of them are in the Orlando area, right? But these guys that live here at Sea Island, Patton Kizzire, Zach Johnson, Harris English actually showed up in good form this weekend. Hudson Swafford, Jonathan Bird, and JT Poston are guys that live there.
I'll tell you one thing. Give me a look at Harris English. You talked about it, 28-1. Was leading in that tournament, couldn't get it done down the stretch, Brian, but he's starting to turn it around. And you knew this guy at Georgia, he was supposed to be like a phenom, hasn't really lived up to expectations. That's the problem with Harris English, but he's also playing a lot better. It's a weekend field. You have Webb Simpson as the favorite at 8 and Billy Horschel in the 2-hole at 14. This is a type of tournament that he can win at 28-1. I'd like a little bit more, but Harris English is definitely a guy I'm looking at 28-1. I already told you I'm taking Todd at 50, but you've seen it, Brian. He's starting to get his game together. So Harris English has the tools. He's just got to get it right in his mind. And once he does, he'll be dangerous too.
Yeah, I've gotten off the bandwagon because it was getting really frustrating. Fratelli contended again last week, but the guy doesn't know how to win. But I don't see him entered this week. But I mean,
no, he's there 35-1.
Oh boy, I don't like that price. But I would tell you that, like the Todds of the world, a lot of these guys, man, just got that come off the Corn Ferry Tour. This is where these guys out of nowhere at 120-1 get their first win. So I think a newbie could win this thing. I'm doing the homework here, trying to find a few. Actually, he was in contention on the weekend, and he went belly up. I'm looking, where'd he go? But we always clown around that there it is. Oh, yeah.
Who are you looking for?
Well, he started good, and then he was it's a Burgoon.
Oh, Bronson. I like the Burgoon bin. Yes. Yes, Brian. What a deal. I got that roast for $2 in the Burgoon bin. Yeah, I like Bronson Burgoon. 100-1. So that's actually a crazy price for him. But now there's another guy that I'm looking at, and you mentioned, if I'm going to go with a resident of the area, I'm going to go with JT Poston. I've seen him on leaderboards before, even in better fields. He would be a guy that I would look to at 70-1. He's a streaky guy too. Like, he can get hot, real hot. He can go real low. 70-1 is a good price when you're thinking about a guy that's been in contention lots at the tail end of the tour last year. So I think Poston at 70 is a very, very good price.
I'm going to look up his current form camp, but I and this is just having no life and knowing this.
I got no life either. Like, that's what we do. I bet on hockey. Then we bet on football. Then we're betting on golf, and this is what we've chosen, Brian. It's a good life. Yeah, I probably should have more human interaction. I agree, but this is what this is what we do. This is what pays bills, right? And I'm still want to punch myself. When I talked about Todd, I only put a couple bucks on it, and you know me. For golf, I like to put like 20 or 30 bucks on a guy, because if it hits, it's like, you get that. It's not like you're winning a hockey bet, $50, $100, whatever. Like, you can get $1,500, $2,000, like money that you can take care of your mortgage, go and buy your girlfriend a gift, take your mom and dad out for lunch type of thing. Like, it's hard to do it. It's hard to put like a big money on a golf tournament, but you pick 3 to 4 guys and do it. And hell, I bet so many NFL games, you might as well just put 20 or 30 bucks on a few golfers, Brian. And we've hit them before, and it's really nice when you get that, 2,500, 3,000. What about you and Lowry? Same thing. Like, you get,
I don't know.
You get the big score. It's hard. You still have to do matchup bets, but I would suggest to people, like, it's so hard winning a golf tournament. So when you put $2 on a guy to win like $80, it's like, yeah, you're happy. Yeah, good pick. But you're thinking, you know what? Damn, if I just put like 20 or 30, it would have been a hell of a better story. But
the beauty of betting golf, this is why we love it so much. The matchups are like the grind in the things. But when you hit the one good one, I mean, you're good for the year. The whole season's a free roll.
Bankroll.
Okay, I'm going to throw one at you. I almost feel guilty because I know I'm going to talk you into this. Because A, you love me. B, you're gullible. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. If I told you current form, a guy finished 3rd at the Greenbrier, 14th at the Sanderson Farms Championships, and then is coming off the shelf now, but the last time he was seen, 18th here in Vegas. So what was that, a month ago? So 3rd, 14th, 18th in his last 3. Would you call that decent form?
I would say above average form. Yes, very good. That's good form. Very good.
All right. And I burned a lot of money on this guy, and he's been dead to me. But I know he's a Georgia Bulldog. Brian Harman. 60 to 1.
I like Harman. And the thing about Harman is it's kind of weird. You'd think he'd take out these guys in these lower tier events. He shows up in majors, Brian. We've seen Harman like on leaderboards. And
he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a fighter.
He's a grinder. He's a little lefty and he's a little grinder. And I think that's a very good price for Brian Harman. Good call. Georgia Bulldog. Look at the alma maters of some of these guys, right? Harris English. He's a Georgia Bulldog. I look for guys, local area guys. You want to take a couple of guys maybe who went to North Carolina schools around that area, Georgia. Yeah, I'm down with that program, Brian. I really like that. That's a great observation. Brian Harman at 60. And there's another guy around that area code that I say is very, very close. Denny McCarthy at 55 to 1 would be another guy I would target from that range.
Betmaker, let's make some money tonight.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website at betmaker.com. You know, the beauty of this stuff, Cam, honestly now, and I think this year is going to be really a lot of fun, but I mean, you could just go right down the line and go, so many guys can win.
I'm looking at look at this tournament this week, okay? Nick Watney, I'm not going to take him, but he has the ability to turn it on. He's 125 to 1. I'm scrolling down a little bit more. Maverick McNeely's a good golfer. He's 150 to 1. Like, that's the thing, Brian. What about Tom Hoagie Sandwich? He's been in contention before. The Hoagie, right? He's 160. Like, I'm looking down the list, and I'm seeing guys at 150 to 1 that actually I think can be in contention in this thing. It is tough to pick a winner in a golf tournament, but his guys now, they're all rock solid. You don't have that stooge that you used to like fade against all the time. It's pretty tough. Like, you know, Brian, a lot of these guys aren't afraid to win. The younger generation are just like, bring it on, man. I've been in pressure situations before, and they deliver.
I'm going to throw one more at you, and I'm just...
Yeah. Taylor, Gooch? Gooch?
No.
He's your guy. He burns money, too, but...
No. You know what? Like, every blue moon, fourth in the Sanderson Farms, went to Asia, 12th in the Nine Bridges, and hit the wall in the Zozo. But he's been off since then. And he's the new version of Charlie Hoffman for me, where Hoffman, I think, has a chance to win now.
Hoffman's lost his game recently, though.
Oh, no, I know. But Hoffman used to be the Sunday ATM machine.
Yep, you're right.
But then he learned how to win a little bit. And in a field like this, it's one of these things where I can see him being 5 back and shooting a 63 or 4, just doing the ATM thing, but it might be good enough to win. What about a Kevin Streelman sighting at 90 to 1?
Yeah, you said it. That's Streelman's MO. He doesn't really, get out to the lead, always lingering, and then he'll put around when he's like T14. He'll shoot a 63 and finish like third. That's Kevin Streelman's MO. But he shouldn't be 90 to 1. Like, that's another thing. Like, look at the guys in that range: Siwoo Kim, Chris Kirk, Kevin Streelman. Those are good golfers. No, Kevin Streelman has been very close before. And the thing I like him over the other guys is consistency. Those other guys have been great and then crap the bed. Streelman's kind of consistent, top 25 guy. He could be there. So, yes, I can endorse a Kevin Streelman play. Also, Brian, school, Duke, North Carolina, close proximity.
Sure. Well, no doubt. Hey, you talk about these guys. I mean, the travel can be a grind and everything.
Sure can.
Oh, poor guys. But I'm sitting there. This guy's played 3 tournaments, a 4th, a 12th, and 74, and 3 tournaments to start, quote unquote, the 2020 campaign. Kevin Streelman has $510,000 in the bank. Are you? The kind of money these guys are playing for is ridiculous.
Just make a cut and get paid, right? That's the thing. Like, you make the weekend, you can just crap the bed and still you make some good money, take care of your family. That's what it's all about. No, these golfers, yeah, they travel around. It's tough, but they get paid accordingly. And that's the thing. If I had a kid, I'd get him into golf and tennis before football or hockey or anything like that. At least you can actually, have a chance to walk your whole life and make a lot of dough. So, yeah, those are guys that I'm looking at, Brian, just to say before we get on to the Europeans, because they're in their tour championship. I'm going to start things off. Guys I'm going to play this week: Harris English at 28 to 1, Georgia Bulldog. I'm also going to take Brendan Todd again. I think you have to, just to go for 3 straight wins in a row at 50. I like your pick there. And another guy that I'm going to be looking at, let me see here. There's somebody who caught my eye. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to ride your wave too with Bronson Bargoon. A nice price, a nice Bargoon at 100-1 there looks pretty damn good to me.
All right, buddy. It is the race to Dubai. Tommy, let's recap real quick. Tommy Fleetwood, whose form was just atrocious.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I mean, he was awful.
Brian, this is a great story about golf. We have 2 opposite ends here on the polar spectrum, okay? You have Brendan Todd, who's in the best form of his life, and he wins again. Tommy Fleetwood couldn't, as you say, you know what I mean, hit it in the ocean. He was all over the place. He's a family man now, married, probably having a good time with his wife and kid, and all of a sudden, this guy's been horrible. Then he turns it up and wins.
You see him, and you know what he won? You know what the purse was? $2.5 million he won.
I know. It's a big cake. And that's the craziest thing about this sport. There was no form there. We faded him in matchup bets. And what happens? The guy comes back and wins the tournament. Is he going to win again this week at 16-1? It's not enough for me. But he's been close before, Brian. He could be one of these guys who gets a little bit scary once he wins. Because Tommy Fleetwood's always, we've had him so many times in majors. I'm like, dude, help me out at 40. We could do this, Tommy. And always second, third, right there. Ooh, just misses a putt. Shoots a 62. Can't hang. It's just this guy will drive you crazy. But I'll say this, man, now that he's got that win, he might get the Brendan Todd syndrome and start winning a lot, Brian. That's the thing.
Well, now here we go. This is basically the big boy for them over in Europe now. They in fact, Fleetwood, and I would just throw this out there. They talked to Fleetwood yesterday after he won, where a lot of these guys, and I don't think you can sustain it. So many of the quality European guys are now making that shift to play on the PGA Tour because the purses are so much better.
Yeah.
But there are these guys, and Fleetwood said, I'm done. He said, I'm going for it this year. But he said, I'm going to play less. He's, playing on PGA Tour, playing enough on the European Tour to qualify for something like this. It's great. He's, but his thing is he wants to win majors. And he's just said, I'm beat down, I'm worn out. And so, okay, this is in front of us now. But no, a lot of these guys are going to pick one tour or the other, and that's all she wrote. But McIlroy, you talk about a daily double, Cam. I mean, win the FedEx Cup and this.
Yeah, he could. Well, he's a favorite at 4-1. I will not be taking him at that price. You know what, Brian? I'm going to look for our buddy. I'm coming back to Macintyre at 33. Here's a story. He starts this tournament last week 73-76 and closes 65-68. You gas those 2 first rounds. He finished T8. He wins this tournament. So if he can get it together and find a way, another 68-65, he's in. He's it's like, thank you. And I'm going to take him at 33-1. A nice grind back. That took a lot of balls to shoot a 76 in the second round and then come back and get a top 10. I think he's dangerous at 33. I wish we got a little bit more on Matthew Fitzpatrick. He finished tied for 10th last week. A 73 in there with a couple 71s. I want to take him. I just can't take Rory at 4-1. Rahm at plus 650. It's not enough for me. I might go back to my boy, the investment firm, Thomas and Matthias Schwab. What can Schwab do for me? Hopefully get me some dough. 30-1, that looks good. I think it's what can Brown do for you? I think I screwed up my my joke there. But anyway, who cares? The guy's good. 30-1.
I'm listening and I'm reading. No, the one thing about your McIntyre, I mean, he's in literally there's a tournament within the tournament. McIntyre and Kitayama, Audrey Arnaus, and Guido Miglozzi, who played well last week, by the way, they're in a fight to become the Rookie of the Year. So there's kind of a tournament within a tournament. But know this, winning this thing is not it's kind of like the NASCAR race that was just yesterday. Kyle Busch happened to win the race and won the championship. But the bottom line is he was just fighting. He just had to finish ahead of the other 3 guys. He didn't have to win the race. You know what I mean? So, somebody can win this tournament, but somebody else could win the whole kit and caboodle with the season-long standings. So there's a tournament within the tournament too.
Yeah, I agree with that. You have to look at those guys that are playing for accolades. I'm going to be on Macintyre and matchup bets. It surprises me. I'm looking at another guy that they always price high. Like, I like Henrik Stenson, but he shouldn't be 22-1. He finished 17th. So you're telling me Matthew Fitzpatrick and him have basically the same odds? Fitzpatrick's, he's in way better form. Like, I like Henrik Stenson, but, it's just one of those things like, the 3-wood game, he's not really going low. He'll shoot a 69, 70. Like, it's consistently good, but where's that round where he goes deep? It doesn't happen because of the putter, right? So he's a guy I think I might fade in some matchup bets, Brian, and he'll probably be favored as well. Just looking up and down the list, Molinari's in bad form right now. I'll probably fade him again. Matt Wallace, you want to talk about Tommy Fleetwood? I used to ride this guy. He was money in the bank. Money in the bank. I know. I'm not done with him. I will fade him if I can get 2 or 3 different matchup bets, and I'm on different sites. So guys shop around for golf. Sometimes they have a different matchup component. I will fade Matt Wallace in every single matchup that I'm in. He has lost his game, and I think that's a good way to attack this tournament and make money. But guys that I like, I got to start things off. If I'm going to bet a few guys, I think Fitzpatrick, a few shekels on him, are 20-1. Macintyre at 33. And if you're looking for a bit of a bomb play there, it's tough, Brian, but maybe Marcus Kinhult. He finished very high last week. He's been playing good golf and under the radar at 60-1.
What about because every blue moon he shows up and on big stages too. I'm trying to
playing with the Queen of Hearts, Juice Luton.
The European Tour is here. We go. Finally,
finally. Look who's in the tournament. Brian's favorite friend, Tom Lewis.
Not yet,
not yet, Tommy.
All right, how about this?
Yes.
All right, he's in. Now I'm gonna do it.
Poulter.
He was 6th in the the BMW. All right, that was September. Then the 61st, nothing. But then a 2nd in Spain, understandably so. Then in the WGC event, garbage. But in the Net Bank, 17th. It's like a horse race, Cam. You know what? When I call you, go, hey, I got a horse for you, and it's like a guy leading up to something, and so you go from a 2nd, 57th, and a 17th, trending back the right way. All right, long-winded story to get to the point. At 50-1,
Rafa,
bingo,
Cabrera-Bello, RCB. Dynamite. Yeah.
Bingo, you got it.
We got an RCB sighting. No, trust me, I'm one of the presidents of the RCB fan club with the Cabrera-Bello. He'll drive you nuts, though. When I'm watching European Tour golf, when he has a leader close, I have to turn the channel. That guy is one of the best ball strikers in the world. Who misses more 5-foot putts than this guy? Not very many, Brian. His ball striking is epic. And his putting is junk. I could take one of my buddies as his putter who played on like the mini tours, like Canadian Tour, and putt for Bale, and he wins. That's the problem. Like his putting blows.
I hear you, man. But I think one of his biggest wins was over in Dubai. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where he's flying under the radar, like over the long haul. Cabrera-Bello on a weekly basis, and I love the guy because I got him at 80-1. But don't you trust Cabrera-Bello more on a weekly basis than Shane Lowry?
Yes, I do. And more than Matt Wallace and more than any of those guys. You'll probably be in a matchup with Matt Wallace as a slight dog, and I'll pound it.
We can't bet it at this price. But you know who we didn't even mention? Jon Rahm, man.
I know. Another thing is, Jon Rahm could win this tournament. I'm just sorry. The way the NFL goes and other sports, it's just I can't bet a guy at plus 650 in this type of field. Like you give me Rahm at 10, I would actually consider it. 650. It's like people are like, oh, you're nickel and diming over 350. Yeah, I am, because there's Fleetwood at 16, Reed at 18, Rose. Like, I'm sorry, these books aren't stupid. I'd love to see Rahm a little bit higher, but they get it.
Well, Kim, at the end of the day, the difference between a guy who's 6-1 and a guy who's 25-1 is 2 putts. Yeah. Or 1 3-putt. I mean, what I mean?
Crazy. I'm with you. I like Jon Rahm. I'll probably try to take him in a matchup bet, maybe against a Patrick Reed or a Fleetwood or something, but I can't bet him at under 7-1. Sorry.
All right, there you have it. We got golf, PGA Tour, and the end of the European Tour. Good stuff, as always. With Cam Stewart, I'm Brian Blessing. Tee it up. Make some money.
Betmaker.
That's the Betmaker Show for now. We publish multiple times each week. We'd like to thank you for listening, and if you liked what you heard, please take a moment to leave a rating and review, or subscribe to our show feed, or share our show with a friend or two and help us grow the show. We very much appreciate it. Visit us on the web at betmaker.com, and reminder to sign up for the newsletter. Thanks to our engineer, Darren Vandermolen, and producer Mike Gallivan. The Betmaker Show is a production of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated. Betmaker is a registered trademark. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this content without the express written consent of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction, as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At betmaker.com and the Betmaker Show, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling. An approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.